This is the Martini Mortgage Podcast with Kevin Martini.
This is episode 42 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, and I'm Kevin Martini, and we want to dive in and talk about the elephant in the room if you're a current renter. Many people may be telling you that you need to stop renting and buy a home. As a mortgage strategist, I have to tell you, this is just simply terrible advice. Anyone that gives you advice to buy a very large asset and secure a very large debt without knowing you and without knowing your short and long-term goals is 100% wrong. Let me give you a parallel. If a doctor would give you a prescription without doing an examination, I believe that would be malpractice. If someone tells you to buy and stop renting without understanding you and your family, it's also malpractice. Now, episode 42, the Martini Mortgage Podcast, was actually inspired by a TV commercial I saw. The commercial was for an online lender that promised to take you to the moon on a ship with their special app. Let me set the scene for you. A young couple is at an open house, and the real estate agent hosting the open house is talking very fast, saying something like so as the camera zooms in. We are at multiple offer situation. One is FHA, one is VA, blah, blah, blah. Well, you get the idea what she was saying. Then the camera zooms into the couple, and they have a confused face. And poof, the online lender spokesman appears and hands them a phone and says, "Don't worry what that agent is saying. She's just saying a whole lot of people want to buy this house and you need to get qualified. And his app will help you within seconds get qualified and will even help you understand why the sky is blue."
Wow.
Friends, we have all seen those television shows where a family decides to buy a home. They look at a home, and within 30 minutes, they are moved in. Oh, and they have also remodeled the entire place. TV is not a reality. It does not work that way in the real world. I'm not only the host of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, I am a mortgage strategist with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage, located in Raleigh, North Carolina. I have been in the financial services, get ready for this, since the late 80s, but I'm still very young. I provide families with trusted advice, great rates, on-time closings with a world-class experience. I like to think I maximize my clients' time and eliminate their frustration. You know, my parents always used to tell me there is no substitute for education. My parents were 100% correct. As a primer, I believe with all of my heart that real estate creates a path to wealth. And in fact, my big why, or what some may call my mission, goes like so. I help families create wealth with real estate. I help families here in Raleigh, here in the Triangle of North Carolina, and all over this great state. I mean, from the mountains to the coast, realize the American dream. Yes, I believe owning real estate is part of the American dream. I also know that a mortgage is a financial instrument, just like a stock or a bond is. It is my duty, my obligation, my responsibility to educate on the power of a mortgage and the benefits of home ownership. Right now, real estate with a mortgage is one of the only investments that can amplify and multiply your returns with leverage. Simply put, leverage is the use of a mortgage to increase your potential return. I know what you're saying. Calm down, Kevin Martini. I get it. I can be very passionate. I know I'm not solving world peace, but I do, however, know I'm creating peace of mind for the families that I have the privilege to work with. Now, only you, only you know what's the right solution for you and your family. The question of renting versus owning is only the thing that you can make a decision on based on education to fully understand the benefits and risks associated with owning and renting. Again, my parents used to say, there is no substitute for education. Now, let me go back to that commercial that inspired this podcast episode. The young couple did not have a real estate agent and they were not approved for a mortgage. Here is a crazy statement. Going to an open house is a waste of time.
What?
Yes, that is a bold statement, isn't it? Before you turn off this episode, let me explain. But first, let me ask you a question. If you were to buy a car, would you just spend Saturday going to every car dealership and look at every model and every make? If you know you want a sport utility vehicle, why the heck are you spending time looking at a sedan or a coupe? If you want to buy a domestic car, why the heck are you looking at a foreign car dealership? Here is a hashtag Kevin Martini Live talking point. The most precious asset I have is time. The most precious asset you have is time. Let me take this as an opportunity to say thank you for tuning in to the Martini Mortgage Podcast with your most precious asset, your time. Buying a car and buying a home both have the exact same first step. Understand how you're going to pay for something before you fall in love with it. The proper first step, if you need to buy a car, is understanding the finance options available to you for this large asset. This would be smart, and making sure that it is within your budget would be priceless. The same strategy needs to be deployed when looking for buying a home. Step number one is not going to open houses. Step number one is not going to one of those fancy real estate websites with a ton of pictures. Step number one is not to call a real estate agent. The first step to home ownership. The first step is to find a local trusted mortgage strategist and to make sure that mortgage strategist understands your short and long-term goals to make sure you have price and cost clarity. As I share all the time, loan first, home second. I truly believe it does not matter how big the house is. What matters is how happy the home is. I have firsthand confirmation that money can create a ton of stress. Eliminate that stress with knowing what you are comfortable with spending every month for your housing. A mortgage strategist can reverse engineer your comfort payment into a purchase price, and that is a big thing. Once you have a purchase price that is based on your payment objective, now step two kicks in. A conversation with a local trusted real estate pro. Let me give you a secret. Working with a realtor that your mortgage strategist suggests is brilliant. You see, mortgage strategists only work with the best of the best realtors in the market. The mortgage strategist already understands your goals and most likely has an idea where you want to call home. Armed with this knowledge, they can recommend the right person to help you. Let me provide a micro example. I personally live downtown Raleigh. Raleigh is located in Wake County, North Carolina. Now, according to Wake Up Wake, this county adds 64 people every day. In fact, between 2000 and 2010, Wake County grew by over 43%. There are 12 municipalities in Wake County. One could not expect that a real estate expert in Raleigh would be as educated as one if they were in Apex. Or a real estate pro in Cary would not fully understand the Wake Forest market. After you have all heard people say the most three important things in real estate are location, location, and location. With such a growing metropolitan area, it's hard to believe that just one real estate pro can have expertise in all areas. It's important to work with a hyper-local real estate agent that understands the inventory and the growth patterns of the area. Now, let me share a sad real-world situation. I was working with a family that was referred to me by a client of mine. Now, they wanted to work with a family friend, and that just recently got their license, and that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with being newly licensed. Everyone is new. However, even if you're new, you best know your stuff regardless of the length of term or tenure in the business. So they went under contract and they paid their due diligence money and they lost it.
What?
And they did not buy the home.
What?
because they learned that there was an interstate going to be right in their backyards in the next 24 months. They should have known this before they went under contract. A hyper-local realtor would have known that. The absence of education on what is going on in the neighborhood could cost you money, but also cost you your most precious asset. Your most precious asset is time. So it is my option, in my opinion, to listen to the mortgage strategist suggestions based on your price point, your location, and your payment, which is going to be the right agent for you. When represented under buyer agency, I'm willing to bet there is no need for you to visit open houses. I also think there is no need to visit dozens of homes. A true pro, the pros I work with, have an understanding of your goals, know your needs and wants, and only show you things that match your criteria. This maximizes your time. The 3 words in real estate are location, location, location. The 3 words when finding a mortgage strategist are local, local, local. If you're buying in North Carolina, a chap in Michigan at a call center should not be peddling you a loan, and I'm willing to bet they're not going to manage your largest debt for you after closing. Yes, a true mortgage strategist is there for you before a transaction, during a transaction, and after a transaction. I believe after the transaction is where the real magic happens. Don't believe me? Then go to Google. In the search bar, type this, Kevin Martini Zillow Reviews. Kevin Martini Zillow Reviews. Let me bring this to a close. Commercials and those home shows on cable are so very entertaining. Entertainment is not reality. Just think about this for a moment. It might blow your mind. I have yet to see a show about renting. I think it's because it would not be entertaining to watch someone pay someone else's mortgage for them. I do not know if you should keep renting, and I do not know if you should buy a home either. What I do know is that you owe it to yourself to seek the knowledge, and always remember what my folks said. There is no substitution for education. Educate yourself with what you need to know to make an educated decision that is right for you and your family. Don't waste your most valuable time, which is your most valuable asset, which is your time, looking at online houses or visiting open houses. Step 1 is to seek out a trusted mortgage strategist for a confidential conversation. Remember, loan first, home second. Thank you for tuning in to the 42nd episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. A fresh episode is released every Tuesday, and you can also check out the video editions by going to www.martinimortgagepodcast.com or by going to martinitv.com. If you need or want help, I am here. Again, my name is Kevin Martini with the Martini Mortgage Group at Benchmark Mortgage. And you can reach me by calling 919-238-4934. Cheers.
The Martini Mortgage Group makes real estate dreams a reality with trusted advice in a stress-free environment with great rates and on-time closings while providing a world-class experience. If you or someone you know has questions about the current mortgage rates or the current mortgage programs, please reach out to the Martini Mortgage Group at 919-238-4934. The information contained in this podcast presentation is for general product information purposes only. Arklatex Financial Services, LLC, NMLS number 2143, doing business as Benchmark Mortgage, makes no representations or warranties of any kind expressed or implied about the completeness, reliability, suitability, or availability with respect to the information, products, or services. All loans subject to borrower qualifying. Other restrictions may apply. Branch Manager Kevin Martini, NMLS number 143962. Branch located at 5650 Six Forks Road, Suite 101, Raleigh, North Carolina 27609. Contact the branch by calling 919-238-4934. Equal housing opportunity.